Obesity is one of the biggest health problems in America. It's estimated that a third of the nation is obese. As a health issue, it is huge, because one of the legacies of obesity is diabetes, the sixth biggest killer in the US. But while genetics companies are looking for the genes for obesity, not everyone is convinced that genes alone will ever tell us the whole story.
Almost everybody watching this program will die of a genetic disease. And by that I simply mean that things like diabetes, cancer, heart disease, all the big killers, nearly all of them have a strong inherited component. But crucially, in all those big genetic killers of the modern world, the environment is very much involved. For example, if you've got a familial tendency towards diabetes, as many, many people do, the preferred treatment is not to do gene therapy, but to stop eating sweets, to stop eating lard.
Hold your tummies in, swing your arms. Hips in, up and under.
Philadelphia has one of the highest rates of obesity in America, but it's also home to a major campaign to combat obesity and diabetes.
Swing those arms.
Gwen Foster is the city's health czar, charged with getting the city's employees into shape. For those like Gwen on the front line, the promise of a future gene test is less than helpful now.
I have a fear that if people are identified with a specific gene for a disorder, then they will say that there's no hope and just waiting for medical science to come up with the pill or the cure, which is likely not to happen in a lifetime. And the other thing, yes, is that people will feel if there is not the genetic code displayed by whatever testing, that they're scot-free. Faulty genes, I always say, may load the gun, but it's lifestyle that pulls that trigger.
While they work on their lifestyles in Philadelphia, some scientists believe that genetics may still hold the key to predicting complex conditions like diabetes. But there will need to be another phase in the genetics revolution first.
Something like obesity is a very complex set of disorders. Maybe one gene deals with 5 or 10% of the picture. There's companies like Myriad that are trying to find them and sell them one at a time. That's their business model, but it can only give a tiny piece of the picture.
Craig Venter, a pioneer of the Human Genome Project, believes genetic science has to start getting personal.
So one size doesn't fit all. While we nearly have identical physiologies, there are differences. We all differ in one out of roughly 1,200 letters of the genetic code from each other. Sometimes those differences lead obviously to some different physical characteristics, but they also lead to some different responses to the environment. In the way medicine is practiced now, we sort of deal with everything as an average.
Venter's dream is to offer us all our own genome for just $1,000. Only this, he believes, will allow us to tailor our healthcare and lifestyle effectively to the genes we individually possess. In his vision of the future, every child will leave the maternity ward with all his DNA stored in a CD. By the time he's an adult, he will be able to see all his genetic risks. The problem is, others will want to see them too.